We're a community of people, whether it be doctors or lawyers or professionals or network marketers or students. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. We believe that whatever your income is right now, if we could just show you how to add an extra digit to it, would that interest you or anybody you know? So in our extra digit community, what we like showing people is how to add a digit and ultimately a comma to your income. And then from there, we teach you how to maintain and manage that money at the same time. Here's why I'm excited about this, because no matter what you're doing right now, how much money you make, you eventually want your money to start working for you. You don't want to be the one working for the money for the rest of your life. So here's the basic concept. I'll give you guys an example. There are two basic things that everybody in this room wakes up every day. When you wake up, there are two basic things you're trying to accomplish when you boil it all down. One is you want to maintain the quality of life that you currently have identified for yourself. Who would agree? That's the first thing. In other words, pay the bills, keep the hounds off, get something to eat, go out to eat, vacation every now and then, have a car, have a home. That's the current situation that you've identified for yourself. You have to pay for that lifestyle. Have I lost anybody yet? Okay. These are called two objectives. The second objective is everybody in this room wants to one day be able to walk away and have enough of retirement where your money keep what? It keeps coming. That's basically why everybody in a capitalistic society, that's why we're waking up every day. So we show you how to do that. There are 4 problems, though, or challenges you have to overcome when you're trying to do it. Challenge number 1, because I don't believe in problems. I just believe in challenges. OK, challenge number 1 is inflation. See, if you get a cost of living raise, that's fine. But your raise might be 3%. But inflation may be 6 to 8%. So that means even if you make more money, if everything else is still more expensive, you're not going to feel it. So what good is your raise if gas went from $2 to $4? What good is your raise if groceries are more what? Expensive. Daycare is more what? Expensive. Health insurance is more what? Expensive. We just established gasoline in your car is more what? Expensive. So if everything is more expensive and your raise is going up with the cost of living, but inflation is going up a lot higher, you'll never catch what? Never catch up. Just know the reason a lot of people struggle is because they really think that making more money is the answer, and it's not. Because you can make as much money as you want, but if it's not at the rate of inflation, you're still going to be behind. All right? I want to make sure this is clear. I'm talking to a group of people tonight as if you really want to create wealth. I'm not talking to a group of people as if, you want to make $200, $300 a week. We're talking about the challenges that are keeping most Americans from getting wealthy. Everybody got me? The second biggest challenge, okay, or the second challenge period is taxes. We live in a capitalistic society. I'm not here to show you how to evade paying taxes. I'm here to show you how to use the tax laws to your advantage, like wealthy people do, because that's a large reason or a large part of why or how they got wealthy. They took advantage of the tax laws. Whereas people who don't know the tax laws, the government takes more taxes than they should, and that money should be going to you. So a large part of your challenge is taxes. Make sense? I'm going to show you that on the board. Number 3, because a lot of your taxes are being taken from you, you end up borrowing the money that the government is taking. So we end up getting in credit card debt, because what people are trying to do is catch up and get the money back that the government took. So now everything you purchase on credit, you end up purchasing 2 or 3 times. So I thought I got the bike on sale for $99 for my child, but I end up really paying $300 for the bike. So I didn't know I was buying him 3 bikes. But the minute I swiped it, I bought the bike 3 times. Because think about it. If you had the $99, you would have just what? You'd have paid for it. So I don't know what makes people think that they're going to charge the bike for $99 and then in their mind, you know how they justify it? I'm just going to pay it off next month. No, it's not. Because if it was like that, you wouldn't have had to borrow the $99 in the first place. So you always going to end up swiping that card more than you should because most of your taxes are being taken out. So now you end up in more what? More debt. That's problem number 3. Most Americans' biggest 2 expenses, debt and taxes. What most Americans do, though, is they go looking for, if we just cut that cable bill, get a better cell phone plan, cut out on some of the going out to eat, That's not it. That's chump change. Your biggest chunks are the government and the banks. They're taking most of your income from you. You just don't see it. Does that make sense? And then number three, and we like to call, or number four, we call number four financial literacy. Most of us just don't have what's called financial literacy. Now, our company is the Personal Finance Success System, or the Personal Finance Success Company providing that system. This concept is called income shifting. Income shifting. Income shifting basically means I understand that in America, I only get paid in three ways, or there are three types of income I can generate in a capitalistic society. The first one is the most popular. The first way that most people choose to get paid is a W-2. Now, notice I said choose to get paid because you got options. It's just that the system pretty much puts you in the W-2 option. That's the one they promote the hardest. Also known as a what? A job. Make sense? So this is the job situation, and a job pays you on a format called a W-2. The second way you can choose to get paid in America, notice I said choose, is because you have a choice, is a 1099. A 1099 is also known as a business or a small business. We're going to show you the advantages of a 1099. And the third way that you can choose to get paid is investments. So it's really elementary. Investments, also known as capital gains, appreciation, dividends. The goal for all of us in this room is to take your money from your W-2, invest it through some type of business, and ultimately end up where all your money is making you what? Making you money. That's where you want to end up. You want to make it where the majority of your income is coming from investments. Here's why. A W-2 is taxed the most out of all three income streams. A W-2 is the one that says, I want the government to take my money off the top. So I'm going to give the government 28 to 33% of my income before I see a dime. Now, here's my thing. There's nothing wrong with a job. There's nothing wrong with a W-2. Just know that that's the game that you signed up for when you had more choices. But again, if you have a W-2, it's no problem, but start making your way this way so you can give yourself a pay raise, and we teach you how to do it. This guy right here says, you know what? I'm going to get taxed 15 to 23%. Now, that's way better than 28 to 33, but it's not as good as this guy down here. Money says I get taxed less than 10%. Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I have an English degree, not a math degree, but my numbers up here do tell me that if I can get a government less than 10%, instead of giving the government, up to 33%, I need to really start finding a way to give the government less money. So here's the concept. Instead of always trying to get people to make more money, let's give away less money. And that's giving yourself a pay raise. And I'm going to prove it to you. All right. So here's the philosophy. We talked about the three avenues of income and about how much they get taxed. Here's the philosophy of each of these different organizations, or each of these different individuals, I should say. I'm sorry. This person says, I'm going to work. I work. I pay taxes. Then I spend. That's just the way it is. That's the philosophy of a W-2 person. Robert Kiyosaki said it best. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrants, all of his books. He talks about this. I'm going to work first. I'm going to pay taxes second. And I'm going to spend what? Last. This person says, my business is going to work. I'm going to spend second. And I'm going to pay taxes third. That formula and that attitude alone puts more money back in your pocket, because the government rewards 1099s and business people before they reward W-2s and jobs. This person wants the taxes to come off first. This person wants the taxes to come off last. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I just feel like if I'm doing the work, I need to get paid when? First. This group right here, or this attitude, is my money is going to work first. I'm going to spend second, and I'm going to pay taxes when? last. So either way, these two are more beneficial because you pay taxes in the end. So let's get into it. How in the world do you literally shift your income from one income stream to the next? All right, this is real simple. In our company, we teach you 3 strategies to go from the highest tax bracket or the highest form of being taxed to the lowest form of being taxed. 3 strategies. Okay, remember I told you it's 3 solutions to your 4 problems. Strategy 1 is create what's called a positive cash flow cycle. We also call it cash flow success. Most people have a cycle of cash flow failure. The first thing we got to do in order to make our way over here is take your current income without you having to market or sell a dime and create a cash flow what cycle? Success. Most people have a cash flow what? Failure. So the first thing we got to do is flip that. Here's what a cash flow failure cycle is. Your lack of money is costing you money. In other words, who can relate to this? Now, just be honest. Either you know somebody or yourself, because I've been there, I've done that. The bills are late, so all of them got a little late fee on them, right? The lights ain't off, but the light bill may have been $130, but yours $155 because $25 late fee, right? Everybody can relate to that. The gas is not off, but if you look at all your bills, there's a gas fee. See, the lack of money is costing you money. The rent is late. It's due on the 5th, but I get paid on the 7th. So unfortunately, I just got to pay mine on the what? On the 7th. The lack of money costs you money. So if your rent is $11.50, but you're paying $12.50 only because it's late, your lack of money is costing you what? Costing you money. See, that's cash flow failure. I don't have enough money to afford a real good CPA, so my cousin does my taxes for free. And in America, you get what you pay for. So your cousin doing your taxes, that's all good. But I bet you overpaying in what? You overpaying taxes. So because you don't have enough money for a CPA, your lack of money is costing you money. The more money you have, the less money you spend. That's capitalism. So if you go into a car lot and your credit is bad, your interest rate is going to be awful what? Awful high. You go into a car lot and you got $200,000 cash and the Porsche is $90,000, you can talk them what? Down. Your lack of money costs you money. But when you got money, you got leverage. So the first thing we got to do is flip your current situation around so that you got more cash flow coming into your own household. And before we show you anything else, you got to make your money positive and not what? Not negative. I go stroke a check. I know it ain't there, but I'm going to try to beat it to the bank. I swipe my debit card and I'm going to try to beat it. $36, late fee, 40, whatever, $28. My lack of money costs me what? Money. See, here's what people miss. You might say to yourself, well, Brian, them little late fees, not really a big deal on my gas bill, cell phone bill, credit card bill. When you add each of those up per month, let's just say it's $50. Multiply that by 12, that's $600. Multiply that by your working years, times 40 years. You in late fees pay tens of thousands of dollars in late fees. Now, if you had those late fees back and you were investing them, that's where your $1 million is. Your $1 million, you got your $1 million, is caught up in negative cash flow. So strategy 1, convert you from cash flow failure to cash flow what? Success. Using your own what? Money. Here's how you do it. Here's the first thing you need to do. The first thing most Americans need to understand is their W-4 is filled out wrong. That's the form you filled out when you first got your job that told the government how much taxes to take out. Most people filled it out so long ago, and human resources really can't help you fill it out. And most people don't understand the W-4 and didn't claim or didn't have enough exemptions and gave the government the majority of their money. Now, if you go to irs.gov on the website, it states most people, which is 114 million Americans, have their form filled out incorrectly. It says they are overpaying taxes on average of $40 a week too much. Now, last time I checked, $40 a week times 4 is $160 per what? Month. Do you think if you had an extra $160 come back into your check, it might be able to cut off some of them late fees and flip that around, right? So the first thing we do is we tell people adjust your W-4. And here's why. People think that getting a refund check in America, like your accountant or the person who does your taxes did you a big favor. They really didn't. It's called a refund. That means we took all this money out your paycheck. We're going to give it back to you in April after collectively the government went and made a whole bunch of what off our money? They made a whole bunch of money. Now, the government doesn't give you the interest that your money made. They just give you what they took. So last time I checked, I don't know anybody in this room that wouldn't, if you owned a bank, you going to lend me some money and then we just going to break even. That's basically what you're doing on your tax refund. You're giving the government all your money during the year, and then on your refund, you break what? Break even. And then we celebrate like, man, I got $5,000 back. What if you went ahead and just had your $5,000 throughout the year? You probably could have been paying down some of the things that's causing you to be in the negative what? Cash flow cycle. So we tell people the first thing you need to do is take a serious look at your W-4 because 114 million people have it filled out incorrectly. The IRS website states most people may be using their tax returns as a forced savings. Who know I'm telling the truth, right? It's a forced savings. You know it's a big check coming back, and because most people don't have discipline, they look forward to that big check. The IRS website states you may be better off paying down debts. That's on the IRS website. So Uncle Sam is telling you, look, why are you giving all your money to us when you really could be using it during the year to get yourself out of debt? And now you won't get this big refund check in April, but you have money now that you can invest and create a refund retirement account. See the difference? So that's the first thing we teach you. When you adjust your W-4, then we teach you, okay, so let's look at this. We adjusted the W-4, so your income went up, but your taxes went what? Down. Now we teach you how to use the tax money that you were paying and put it on all your extra what? On all your debt. Now your debt is going where? Down. Then we show you how to change your behavior because we have a software where you input all these numbers, real simple, plug and play, and you start seeing the program work. You're like, man, I've been eating out a lot. Man, if I just got rid of this bill, if I just got rid of that bill, I'd have an extra $230 a month. If I wasn't paying so much money over here, I could take that $230 and put it over here. I'm going to show you a true story of how this works. So once your income has an increase, your taxes, debt, and expenses have a decrease, you start flipping your cash flow cycle what? Around. From negative to what? Positive. Give you guys a startling statistic just on this right here alone. If the government is taking a third of your income, that basically means you're working from January to April for free every year, because that's a third of the what? Of the year. So if you're giving the government a third of your money, you're also giving them a third of your what? Of your time. So from January to April, you're working for free. From May to August, you work for the banks. Because since the government took your money from January to April, you end up borrowing May to what? August. So now the banks took the other third. You start getting paid in September. So from September, October, November, December, finally you getting paid because that's the third that you got to keep. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not into waking up every day going to work just to pay taxes and keep the system going and going to work just to pay the banks back because I'm borrowing money. And then I struggle on what's left. And guess what? I haven't eaten yet or paid any bills. That's just what's left. Now we got to live off what's left. Let's put some numbers in here. Let's give you a reality check. You make $50,000 a year salary. Off the top, government's going to take 18. So you take home 32. Now, because the government took 18, you go float the rest on a credit card. So you trying to get your 50 back, but you borrowed it. And you know what you borrowed, you must pay back. So you gave 18 to the government. You gave another 18 to the banks, but you still feel like because you borrowed it, you feel like you make what? 50. but it's paper money. It ain't real money. It's paper money. So you got to end up giving it back. So in reality, we got to take another 18 off. So now you got to live off 14 off your $50,000 a year job. That's just the way it is. So now you got to eat, travel, and do everything else with this. She was $250,000 in debt. Jeanette adjusted her W-4. Her W-4 gave her an increase of $1,100 per month instantly in her own paycheck. Just by changing the what? The form. Her check went up $1,100 per month. Now, by correcting her behavior in the software, she cut her expenses by $1,900. The going out to eat, the late fees, all the stuff I was telling you about that add up on you. By entering all her information into our software and seeing exactly where her money was going. Now she's $3,000 cash flow positive, right? She's got cash flow success now. She took the $3,000. Her debt was $1,600 a month. Was the interest, the student loans, the credit cards. She took the $3,000, and instead of sending $1,600 a month, you start sending $3,000 per what? Month. So she got rid of all her debt in about 2.5 years, using her own $3,000 what? Dollars. Now she's positive 40 what? 46. Her mortgage is $1,900 a month. Now, instead of sending the mortgage company $1,900 a month, she's sending them 46 of her own what? Money. Now, you mess around, instead of sending the mortgage the regular payment, send them 3 and 4 times the payment. She cut her mortgage in 3.5 years. Her mortgage was gone. Now she positive 6,500 per what? Jeanette started investing every single month. She now has $600,000 in her retirement. And between her and her husband, they got about 1.2 in assets. From strategy 1, create her own positive cash flow and rolling that bad boy over into strategy number what? Number 3. I haven't even shown you guys strategy 2 yet. I'm just introducing you to what's called income shifting. Once you get your money back from the people that's taking it from you, then you double down on everything that's keeping you from getting rich. It don't take a lot of money to get rich, guys. Everybody in this room can make $5,000 or $6,000 tax-free and start investing it properly. You have $500,000 or $600,000 in your savings, and that brings you about $5,000 or $6,000. You have $500,000 or $600,000 in your savings, and they say you need about 10 times the amount of your monthly expenses in your retirement account. So if you need $5,000 a month to live, you need $500,000 in your what? Retirement. So 10% of $500,000 is $50,000. Make sense? And that's your $5,000 roughly per what? Per month. So now if she don't do nothing else, Jeanette was $250,000 in debt and flipped it around. Now here's what most people are going to say. I go out here and adjust my W-4, I'm going to owe. Glad you said that. No, you're not. First of all, you only took one part of the strategy. We got a 3-tier what? Strategy. The best thing you can ever invest in is a business. See, our business is showing people this strategy. So by the mere fact that she became a myEcon associate, we train you, we have videos, we got a website, you doing it yourself, you're showing people the strategy, you now have a home-based what? Home-based business. Now, here's how this works. This is real simple. We're going to take this person right here, and we're going to move over into strategy 2. Now pay attention, this is real important. Now that you have a home-based business, certain things become write-offs, right? So now you got your job. Same person making $50,000 a year on their job, right? Now watch this. I got a percentage of my mortgage interest, a percentage of my square footage, because I have a home-based what? Business. A percentage of my cell phone what? Bill. Percentage of the gas in my car. That's car, petroleum. Percentage of my gas bill at home. Percentage of my internet. Percentage of my vacations. Percentage of my meals. In other words, my lifestyle that I'm doing every day anyway, I can now what? Deduct. So I'm going to take the $14,000 that I spend on my lifestyle what? Anyway, the government says over here, you spend second and pay taxes last. So I'm going to take the $50,000, subtract the what? Subtract the 14. I'm going to take the 14 out. Now y'all can only tax me on what? 36. And guess what? It's getting taxed less. So you got a choice, guys. You can either give the government 30% of 50,000 or give the government 15% of 36,000. Because you're going to do this right here anyway. See, that's the beauty of a home-based business. See, in a traditional, regular business, you got to go out and create these expenses. In other words, me and you open up a t-shirt shop, Maurice. Me and you going to go out and get a t-shirt shop. But now we got a brand new what? Building with a brand new lease, with brand new equipment, with brand new marketing. So traditional business is cool when you get a lot of write-offs, but it's write-offs that you didn't have before you got the business. In a home-based business, you write off your life what? Style. So now, if my lifestyle is 14,000, the government says, you know what? Subtract that. You made 50, take 14 off, because we need you to stay in what? We need you to stay in business. Now we're going to tax you on 36. And 36 is way less than 50. And 15% is way less than 28. So guess what? This home-based business alone just put anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 in my pocket. That's called income shifting. But guess what? I haven't made a dime. Did I lose anybody? I didn't bring in any extra currency. I just gave less away. Because we still make 50 what? Thousand. It's just that my home-based business allowed me to do some things that the W-2 won't let me what? Won't let me do. So I put $8,000 to $10,000 back in my pocket. The difference between the 36 getting taxed and the 50 getting taxed goes in my account. Because I'm no longer giving it what? Away. See, the problem with people is too many people think the answer to all their problems is I got to sell something. I got to hustle some product. I got to make some more money. I got to get in this company and do that and get commissions. It's not. You can use a strategy to make you more money with the money you currently bringing in. Now, let me ask y'all a question. If you know somebody who needs to know the strategy on increasing their own money, raise your hand. For showing them that strategy, we pay you. So within our business, we wrapped a referral model of showing people this strategy. Now, let me tell you something. I got the worst penmanship in the world, and my board look like trash. But who understands everything I just said? I'm not the most articulate. I ain't the best speaker in the world. I'm not the biggest accountant in the world. I don't have a degree being an accountant in finance and all that. I just understand one thing. This dude pay the most. This dude pay less. Money pay the least. Now, what's this software you keep talking about, Brian? Well, it's real simple. We also have a mobile app. See, the cool thing about our business is that you have a whole bunch of expenses that you can deduct from the income that you earn, right? Because over here, your business makes money, then you spend it on lifestyle and business, and then you pay taxes on the balance. So now, when I go to take a prospect out to eat, I was going to eat anyway, right? But I get to deduct that from my income. All I do is pull out my app and I put in how much we spent, and it goes directly into my software. Square footage, gas bill, light bill, goes on the spreadsheet. Your taxes are done every single month. Now you just give this file, email it directly to your accountant. Now your taxes done every single month. So that old system that most of us business owners have of folders and paper, that's why we hate doing our what? Taxes. It's that getting all that stuff together, man, every year. You're just like, man, I'll do it next year. And that's what gets you in trouble. But if you can go ahead and just keep up with it, throw it in your mobile phone, and the software keep up with all your taxes and expenses and your income, and you send that bad boy to your CPA, now your taxes are done and your record keeping is clean. Make sense? That's one part of our software. Here's the other part. My son is 9 years old. He was born November 8th, 2003. I can enter my son's name and birthday, create a profile for him, set a goal for how much money I want him to have by the time he's 14, 18, 21, 30, 32, whatever. That bad boy will map out exactly what I need to be doing, how his accounts are looking. I'll land exactly on what he needs to have by the time he's the age I set for him. And then you got the strategy to help you get there a lot what? A lot faster. So the software asks you a couple of basic questions. How old is he? What are your goals right now? You want to get a house? You want to get out of debt? You want to pay less taxes? You want your retirement account? It sets you up a priority list, and it helps you check off and knock out each one of those. So that's what we show people. Now, who in the room knows somebody who may want to have a software that does income projections and give you the game plan and roadmap to get to them? That's our business. As you refer strategy 2, you can start taking the cash flow money from strategy 1, the business income from strategy 2, and strategy 3 is investment income. Strategy 1, create a cash flow success cycle with your own money. Strategy 2, create business income for yourself, which is tax less. Strategy 3, create investment income, which is tax the least. Money is taxed less than labor. What is investment income? Investment income is your capital gains, also known as appreciation, right? Dividends. So let's use an example. And if this don't make sense, I don't need to be talking no more. You and I buy stock for $100. We're gonna use whole numbers, like I said, because I'm not good at math. We buy stock for $100. The stock goes up to 180. So me and you got capital gains of what? $80. Our stock went up 180. We did good. We got our little $80 capital gains. Over here, money is taxed 10%. So I'm gonna give the government a measly $8. Me and you take home 70 what? 72. Did I lose anybody? Our stock made us $72. Over here, you make the same $80. You're going to give the government 24. You take home 56. Off the top, no questions asked. So you can either give the government 8, or you can keep going the rest of your life giving them 3 times that. But just know this, that's where your million is. Everybody in this room that makes more than $10 an hour, if you work your job for 40 years, you will make $1 million at $10 an hour. The problem is you gave the government $380,000, whereas millionaires get the government a little over $100,000. So last time I checked, if you had an extra $280,000 and you was doing this for the past 40 years, that's where your what is? That's your $1 million. So everybody in America can be a millionaire. You just got to learn to make it the right way. That's called income shifting. So here's my question. This is what I tell people as I close. You don't have to do myEcon. I didn't bring you in here to try to get you to do myEcon. I brought you in here to show you a strategy, because guess what? The minute you leave here, you got to do this anyway. Whether you join the business or not, every day you got to take a cold, hard look at your what? Your finances. So only difference with me and other people is we get paid to look at our finances and show other people how to get paid for looking at their own what? Finances. It's a funny thing about this business. I get all kind of people, all walks of life. They want to come in and show you how smart they are. Yeah, but. I said, man, look, I ain't here to argue with you. Don't do the business. And that same person will call me 3 or 4 weeks later, because you got to open up your checkbook pretty soon and see that you overpaying the banks and the feds. You can't even talk to me if you still doing this only. I'm not knocking this. I'm saying you can't do this only. You have to start putting your money elsewhere, or you'll always be giving them this. So whether you choose the home-based business or not, you better shift your what? Income. That's our business. All right. So at this point in the game, it's basically 3 kinds of people in the room, right? The kind of person that says, I'm in, I need to shift my income, I want the software, I'm ready to rock and roll. That's the number 1 person. Hey, get with the person that brought you out. They'll get you your software, your system, everything you need. It's all done by computer. And you can start mapping out your game plan. And then we'll start showing you, if you choose, how to add some fuel to it and make your goals happen a lot faster. Number 2 person says, I got questions. No problem. I don't expect you to understand everything the first time you see it. I'm going to stick around for any questions you may have. And we'll go over it and fine tune it, anything you may need to understand. All right. And number 3 type person says, Brian, I'm going to keep working my job. I think that's the way. OK, I've been doing it 40 years. It's working for me and I don't need to shift it nowhere. Hey, God bless you. Everybody out there is not about giving the government less money. Some people love to give the government more money, and I ain't mad at you. So if that's you, you go right ahead. We need more like you. OK, so with that, you're the person that brought you out. Let us know if you a 1, 2, or a 3.